if you want. Here's the audience. So think of a time that you've had a face-to-face conversation with a loved one. Now think about how you can read their body language, how you can stare into their eyes, how you can touch them, how you can maybe smell them. Now think about if this communication was only through either a video portal or FaceTime. Essentially, this is the way that loved ones communicate with men and women that are incarcerated in the Knoxville area. So today I want to talk to you about the problems with the current policy regarding inmate visitation. So I don't have any loved ones that are in jail or have had any loved ones that have been in jail or prison, but my wife actually works at the Knox County Public Defender's Office right now. And so we talk regularly about different problems that are in the jail and prison system, and specifically we've talked about how this policy has created so many different problems. Now this is relevant to all of y'all because we all live in Knoxville. We should be aware of the different things that are going on in the area as well, taking part in them. So I will explain this topic through three different main points. First being, we'll explain more in depth about the problem. Second, we'll talk about the causes of the problem. And third, we're going to talk about a proposed solution to this problem. First, let's talk about the problem. In 2014, the Knox County Sheriff's Office reported a policy change on the face-to-face inmate visitation rules. They tried to reduce contraband and monitor security by this change, and this change replaced face-to-face visitation with video visitations provided by Securus Technologies. In 2018, a report by Lucius Colette states, "The video-only visitation did the exact opposite of what the sheriff's office intended, except for turning a profit. At the cost of $6 a visit, the sheriff's office has generated over $70,000 from 50% of commissions it makes on the backs of people attempting to stay in touch with their loved ones in jail." So essentially this change caused visitors to have to pay for visitations. Also, it totally eliminated them being able to have face-to-face communication, and they could only communicate through video. In 2018, Matt Lincoln of Knoxville News Sentinel interviewed Rebecca Parr as she was at a peaceful protest at one of the jails. She says, "You can be sitting there, all of a sudden the screen will go all pixelated. We're robbing the children, the mothers, the grandmothers, and the inmates by not allowing them to visit face to face." This problem has become enormous, and so much so that people have actually started to form groups to fight against it. In 2015, Face to Face Knox, a local group fighting against this policy change, started a coalition. And this coalition has been very organized. They've come up with a very prominent social media strategy, and they've also held peaceful protests at jails and prisons. So now that we know about this problem, let's talk about the causes of the problem. In 2018, a Knoxville news article was written by Caitlin Myers, and she stated, "East Tennessee jails have said that video visitations is making money for poor counties, reducing trade illicit materials, and allowing for increased surveillance of inmates." So with this, we're going to talk about two of these main problems. First being lowering the contraband. So this is a chart by 2015 article from Face to Face Knox, and all of these reports are public records from the Sheriff's County office. Which you can see, this is pre-ban and post-ban, and there's not a large difference in the amount of contraband that was being brought into the jails or prisons. Secondly, she talked about the surveillance, and so this chart actually is an adverse effect of the surveillance. However, there was surveillance that was implemented, and they could keep in track of the inmates better, but because of this video communication, it actually caused the inmates to have more violent encounters in the jail and prison system. So you can see this is pre-ban and post-ban, the amount of assaults that were occurring. So clearly there's a lot less going on before and a lot more afterwards. So now that we know about the causes, let's talk about a solution. It's pretty simple. We should just repeal the policy change. In 2018, Face to Face Knoxville stated, "The results are clear. The ban on in-person visits makes jail more dangerous, does nothing to stop the flow of contraband, and strips money from the pockets of the families." So I personally believe that if we were to repeal this ban, that assault incidents would be lowered like they were before the actual policy was changed. And as well, we could change or redirect the funding to be to allow for more research and discovery for ways in which we can stop the contraband other than just video communication. So now that we have a solution, let's recap. So we know the problem, the cause, and the solution through understanding the policy change that was in 2014, the contraband and violent causes of this policy, and as well as the solution that we just discussed. So I'd like to leave you with a quote from a child of an incarcerated man. He stated, "I didn't even get to have a last hug." So basically, through this new implemented policy, this child didn't even get to touch or hug his father before he unexpectedly passed away in jail. So I urge you to, actually this year there will be a new sheriff election, and I urge you to go out and support and vote for a sheriff that will actually repeal this policy, so that way children or someone else that has a loved one can actually have a face-to-face communication with their loved ones in jail or prison. Thank you.